So our next speaker today is our President, Paddy Phelan. Paddy is the CEO of South East Energy Agency and has been involved with the organisation here for quite a number of years. So Paddy, if you'd like to...
Thank you, Noel. Again, excuse me, I just want to welcome everybody here today. Welcome Minister Ryan, and thank you very much for taking the time to come and be with us. I was just discussing with Minister Ryan just while we were outside going through some of the formalities. It's 12 years ago since I was in this room at a department workshop on energy and energy policy, and at the time the Heat Pump Association were here with a few of the suppliers, and they weren't recognised or supported, or they hadn't been understood or appreciated in terms of their potential role in decarbonising our heating sector. And it's nice to see that after kind of the years that have passed, that the heat pump sector has been acknowledged and has become a central plank in terms of policy in decarbonising the heating sector. But I suppose from primary review of our European colleagues and the work that they have done, we acknowledge the significant role that bioenergy has to play in that transition also. And we as a nation have the lowest integrated amount of renewable heat from bioenergy compared to our European colleagues. So I suppose it's particularly important that we acknowledge the incredible opportunity, and we've seen how heat pumps have provided us with a very stable solution towards a large proportion of our targets in 2030 and beyond. But we really do and fully must appreciate the opportunity that's already there in terms of bioenergy, and how, from a European perspective, we see leaders and how it's implemented through aggregated distribution systems like district heating, which I know has become another central plank in terms of policy, and there's a lot of good projects being considered right throughout the country, but they're going to take time. I suppose let us address the pressing issue at hand, our journey towards 2030 renewable energy targets. Again, these targets represent our commitment to combating climate change and securing a sustainable future for generations to come. And that sustainable future has many aspects through which there are benefits, and benefits for society, benefits for rural economies, and bioenergy is one that really plays a significant part in cementing livelihoods, jobs, enterprise, and most importantly, a reduction of imported fossil fuels from local energy supply chains. And bioenergy, through all its vectors, solids, liquids, gas, and conversion into electricity, provides that, and provides it in a very stable and dispatchable way. I suppose one significant, and I'm involved with the Renewable Energy Association as a founding member and working across all of the areas I do in all of the various renewable associations. And what we've identified is that there's been, I suppose in planning, there's been a forecast of significant uptake of renewable electricity support scheme. And as we can see from the REFIT 3 results, their price is climbing from 70 to 90 to 100 euros a megawatt hour in the most recent auction, with a much smaller volume than anticipated. And right throughout this challenge, all aspects of energy resource need to be capitalised on and used in a way that we can cement our trajectory towards our 2030 targets. At the moment, our electricity contracted amounts through RES 3 will show us missing our targets and missing them significantly. And that's placing a further emphasis on offshore electricity, and they're coming on stream in 27, 28, 29, which the industry is really struggling to see from a planning perspective. Onshore wind is really struggling with planning, and solar is now starting to see some of those issues arising. And bioenergy is something that's been around for decades, and it's been providing significant solid resource around dispatchable energy, both in terms of heat and electricity, but also its important role in the other big elephant in the room, which is transport. So transport is our largest energy user and our largest emitter of carbon, and we're already blending a significant amount of bioenergy into and we're not seeing the recognition of the over 1 million tonnes of CO2 taken off our national inventory through that blending process. So I think it's really important to understand that bioenergy is a resource. It's renewable. It's available within the jurisdiction of our country. It creates significant economic benefits where it has been implemented, but really importantly, and this is a note for the industry, implemented well. So where it's done properly, the SSRH programme, which was launched 4 years ago, hasn't seen the uptake in bioenergy we thought it would. It hasn't seen or very little uptake in heat pumps. These schemes are well thought out, they're well planned, they're well programmed, but unfortunately the money is not getting out into the sector across all of the technologies. So we really need to look at our systems, be it planning, be it the really well thought out policies that we have in place. It seems like citizens, actors, SMEs, businesses seem to continuously struggle to get access to these supports to change the direction or the trajectory towards 2030. And in discussion with a group yesterday where we were looking at a solution around renewable heat and decarbonising heat in quite a large space in an urban area, it crossed my mind that oftentimes you, the actors, or you, the businesses who want to take that step to decarbonise, you find yourself shooting into an open goal. But unfortunately, the open goal has the net placed on the wrong side of the line. So the ball never crosses the line. It ends up coming back at you and you have to try again. So I think there are a number of areas where we all collectively, whether it's at policy level, at planning, design, implementation, but fundamentally support. The opportunity is there. There are supports that have come in stream, but it just seems like people can't get at them very easily, and when they try, they don't always succeed. And in the vast majority of cases, people start to disbelieve or lose the drive to go and make that initial decision, which we find so hard to get people to take in the first place. And when they do go to take that decision, they find barriers and blockages in the way. So again, I think it's fundamental that in the pursuit of renewable energy, specifically bioenergy, we stand at a crossroads in Ireland. We must address the areas where we don't have policy supports, but there are already significant policy supports and good supports there in terms of SSRH. And there are more that we look for, particularly in the area of biomethane, which has a huge role across heat, transport, and sectors to help decarbonise those. We can participate. We have really good examples like Danone in Wexford and GSK or Haleon in Dungarvan, who are pharma sites, who use biomass, and who have, in the Danone case, were the first certified producer of milk powder in the world as carbon neutral production. So it's particularly important on a plant basis that we understand we have done this in this country. We have got anaerobic digestion in place, not at the scale that's needed. We have got large-scale bioenergy. We have small-scale bioenergy. And I think together with all of the other renewable technologies, we have our part to play. And it's time that Ireland realise that we can't rely solely on electricity to get us to 2030. We do need to bring all of the others in to help us achieve a long and sustainable renewable energy sector in this country. Thank you very much.
Now, thank you very much, Paddy.